What's up, people? Welcome back, and we are on a 2-week streak here. We're gonna get a third next week. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. We're gonna be doing another cinematography practice. I feel like it's been a little bit since I've done one of these, besides just my normal breakdowns of things that I've shot. So while coming up with an idea of what I wanted to practice and what I wanted to try out, I thought about what I haven't really talked about much in detail or specifically. So today we're gonna be talking about one tool that I use pretty often. This tool can shape and change the way that your image looks instantly. And I don't think it's talked about enough. I've definitely mentioned it here or there in some other videos, and I've watched other people's videos who've mentioned it as well. But I wanted to give its own video because I think it's really important to be able to have these in your toolbox, especially as a cinematographer. And what I'm referring to is window shears. In my toolbox, I have about 5 different types of window shears in all different colors, from blue to white to ivory to yellow to something else, maybe 4. Brown. I have a brown. It's interesting. Haven't tried it yet, but I would like to. I'd also like to get red as well. But the reason why I wanted to talk about window shears was because I could have shot this kitchen naturally with just the windows without anything there, but I wanted to create a certain mood and a certain look that you can't get without adding some sort of color to it. So for instance, if I was on a short film or a commercial and the director wanted this moody, kind of yellowish, gross looking kind of environment, I wouldn't be able to really accomplish that by not doing much of anything to the windows. Using window shears have a few benefits. The first one being it adds some nice color. Whether you're using, again, orange, yellow, blue, brown, red, whatever color you choose is going to emit a certain mood and a certain emotion inside of the frame and inside the space that you're working in. The second thing that window shears adds is just a bit of production design. Now, by no means am I a production designer, but by myself adding some of these things into frame just adds a little bit of character, a little bit of uniqueness. And the other thing is it allows me to get knowledge in terms of what I like and the colors that I like. So one day when I get to work with the production designer, I can have some of these conversations about things that have worked, things that haven't worked, some colors and things along those lines, because I've experimented myself. And I'm sure I'm missing a few other benefits of window shears, but the other one that I want to mention is just a slight diffusion that window shears, because you're not shooting directly through a window and that's it. It's also going through a little bit of a fabric, which cuts some of that hard light out. So let's break down this little scene that I did in my kitchen. First thing I did was tape the yellow window shears to the window inside of the kitchen. As soon as I did that, I immediately saw a difference in the color of the kitchen, and it started to get to that mood that I was looking for. So the next thing I did, because I wanted to get a little bit of bump and exposure in that window, was take a Nanlite Forza 500 and shine it directly into that window. So I was able to take that light and shine it directly in, and it wasn't at a perfect angle or what I really would have done if it was on the ground, but it was able to give a little bit of punch and a little bit of brightness into the window that I was looking for. And having that shine through that yellow sheet of diffusion emphasizes that look throughout the entire space, because light is transmitting through the window and the shear, and it's spreading through the environment and the space, hence creating a little bit more of a yellow look throughout the frame. So if you look right of frame, you'll notice this little like window kind of countertop area. And what this actually is just like an open area from my living room to my kitchen. But I saw a potential to make it almost look like another window. And I wanted to create a little bit of texture on the wall and on the countertops and some of the props that I had. What I did next was take the exact same yellow window shear and I taped it across this entire opening. Additionally, I got another light, which was the Nanlite Forza 300. I had the Fresnel attachment and barn doors for this one particular because I wanted to shape the light a little bit more. Prior to adding the barn doors, I just had the Fresnel, and just beaming that light through there just didn't look too realistic. It was kind of ugly and it just seemed very artificial. But by closing the barn doors and only letting a little streak of light in, that allowed me to get a little bit of a beam of light, a little sliver. And that was really just enough for me to kind of get a little bit of punch, again, from the far side, but also to create some interest and some shape that I wouldn't have otherwise. The last light that I added was the Nanlite Mix Panel 150. And this was just used for a little bit of fill, considering that the outside ambient light was extremely hot, and I was also pushing a little bit light through there. I needed to balance it a little bit more because the contrast ratio wasn't exactly what I was looking for, and the shadows were a little too deep, but I just wanted a little bit more lift in the shadows. So what I did was take that mix panel, set it to 5600 Kelvin, bounced it off the ceiling at about 30% or so, just enough so I could see a little bit more detail in the shadows and I just have some room to work with. So the last thing that I want to talk about is just the close-up setup. So moving towards my face, I noticed that there wasn't really any light on my face at all, and I needed to kind of key myself a little bit more. So what I ended up doing was taking the mix panel 150, bringing it around the kitchen next to the Forza 300 and setting that to the soft light setting, because the mix panel 150 you have the option of going hard light or soft light. So setting it to the soft light allowed for that really nice soft key light that I was looking for. The last light that I want to mention is the mini Nanlite Pavo tube. This light was used as a little bit of a top light and just to emphasize the key light a little bit more and wrap it around my face. So how I was able to accomplish this was by taking a Mathellini clamp, attaching a knuckle to that, and then again attaching the tube holder to the knuckle, which allowed me to hold the mini Pavo tube at a nice angle without it being in frame. This was a really nice touch because it helped wrap the key light a little bit more. So instead of setting this to a 5600 Kelvin color temperature, it wasn't going through that yellow sheet, so I needed to change that and adjust. So what I did was set it to RGB and find a nice yellow tone that I thought matched well with the other lights and the other ambience inside of the room. So the last thing I want to mention is this V-flap board. These windows back here were kind of visible in that first frame, and I didn't want to see any of that, so the V-flap board just covered all of the windows and I wasn't able to see them at all, which helped me kind of sell the look of that little window frame being an actual window. So that's it for another at-home practice today. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit of something. So if you're interested in these window shears, I attached an Amazon link below. They're fairly affordable and you have a variety of colors to choose from. So I recommend experimenting with them, and you can really get some creative stuff with it. And it's pretty awesome just to have in your toolbox. So if you found value in today's video, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment, let me know what you think. Until next time, thank you guys as always. Have a great day. Peace.